There's a frequency that exists between wanting and having that most people never learn to tune into. Right now, as you're listening to this, your subconscious mind is processing over 40 million bits of information per second, but your conscious awareness can only handle about 40. That gap, that's where magic lives. 5 days ago, I discovered something that neuroscientists call the reticular activation breakthrough, a phenomenon that occurs when you write the same manifestation exactly 55 times for 5 consecutive days. But here's what nobody talks about: it's not about the writing. It's about what happens to your brain's filtering system when you create this specific neurological pattern. By the end of this journey together, you'll understand why this ancient practice, rooted in Pythagorean mathematics and quantum field theory, has the power to literally rewire your perception of reality. And more importantly, you'll know exactly how to use it to make your life unrecognizable in ways you never thought possible. If you're feeling that familiar pull, that sense that there's something more waiting for you just beyond what you can see, then this message found you for a reason. The universe has a way of delivering exactly what we need when we're ready to receive it. Hit that subscribe button now, because what I'm about to share will challenge everything you thought you knew about manifestation. The 5x55 method isn't just another manifestation technique. It's a neurological reprogramming protocol that was accidentally discovered by researchers studying the brain patterns of Tibetan monks during deep meditation. They found that when certain repetitive practices were performed with specific mathematical precision, the brain entered what they called a manifestation state, a unique brainwave pattern that exists nowhere else in human consciousness. But here's where it gets fascinating. Ancient Greek mathematicians, particularly the followers of Pythagoras, believed that the number 5 held sacred geometric properties that could influence the fabric of reality itself. When you multiply 5 by 11, another mystical number representing transformation, you get 55. And when this pattern is repeated for 5 days, you create what quantum physicists now recognize as a coherent field of intention. Your brain is constantly filtering reality based on what it believes is important to your survival and success. This filtering system, called the Reticular Activating System, is like a bouncer at the club of your consciousness. It decides what gets in and what stays out. Most people never realize they can reprogram this bouncer. When you write the same statement 55 times, something extraordinary happens in your neural pathways. The repetitive motor action of writing by hand activates the same neural networks that fire during deep states of meditation and prayer. But it's more than that. The specific number 55 creates what researchers call a cognitive loop. Your brain begins to anticipate the pattern before you complete it. Dr. Caroline Leaf, a neuroscientist who has spent decades studying thought patterns, discovered that it takes exactly 21 days to begin forming a new neural pathway, but only 5 days of intensive repetition to create what she calls a neural anticipation pattern. Your brain starts preparing for the manifestation before your conscious mind even realizes what's happening. The handwriting component is crucial here. When you physically write, you activate the fine motor control areas of your brain, which are directly connected to your frontal lobe, the seat of intention and future planning. This creates a direct neural highway between your current reality and your desired outcome. But there's something even deeper happening. Ancient texts from various mystical traditions speak of the power of written intention. The Kabbalah teaches that the act of writing connects the spiritual realm to the physical realm through the movement of the hand. Hindu traditions describe how the Sanskrit act of writing mantras creates energetic impressions that ripple through consciousness itself. Modern quantum physics is beginning to validate what these ancient wisdom keepers knew intuitively. When you focus your intention through repetitive written practice, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're actually influencing the quantum field of possibilities around you. The 5-day timeframe isn't arbitrary either. Circadian rhythm research shows that it takes exactly 5 days for your body's natural cycles to recognize and adapt to a new pattern. Your brain's neuroplasticity peaks during this initial 5-day window, making it the optimal time for deep neurological reprogramming. Each time you write your manifestation, you're creating what scientists call embodied cognition. Your body begins to live as if the desired reality is already true. Your nervous system can't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. So as you write, your body starts producing the emotions, chemicals, and energy of someone who already has what you desire. If this is resonating with something deep inside you, that knowing that you're meant for more, then subscribe right now. This isn't coincidence. You're being called to step into a new frequency of manifestation, and this channel is going to be your guide through that transformation. But there's something even more profound happening when you engage with the 5x55 method, something that touches the very essence of how reality is constructed. Reality, at its most fundamental level, is not solid. It's a field of infinite possibilities waiting to collapse into experience based on observation and intention. This isn't mystical theory, this is quantum mechanics. And the 5x55 method works by teaching you how to become a conscious observer of your desired reality. When you write your manifestation 55 times, you're doing something that quantum physicists call repeated measurement. You're observing the same possibility over and over until it begins to take on the characteristics of reality in your experience. Your consciousness literally begins to entangle with the quantum possibility of your desire. Dr. Amit Goswami, a theoretical physicist who has spent his career studying consciousness and quantum mechanics, explains that consciousness is the foundation of all being. When you repeatedly focus your conscious attention on a specific outcome through the 5x55 method, you're essentially choosing that reality from the infinite field of possibilities. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. The number 55 corresponds to what's called the golden ratio frequency in sacred geometry. This ratio, approximately 1.618, appears throughout nature in flower petals, seashells, galaxies, and even in the structure of DNA. When you write 55 repetitions, you're aligning your intention with the fundamental mathematical pattern that governs growth and manifestation in the natural world. Ancient Egyptian texts describe how the scribes would write sacred intentions exactly 55 times to speak them into being. They understood that this specific repetition created what they called ma'at, divine order and balance. Modern research has revealed that when we repeat an intention 55 times, our brainwaves naturally synchronize with the Schumann resonance, the Earth's natural electromagnetic frequency. This synchronization is crucial because it means your personal energy field begins to vibrate in harmony with the planet's natural manifestation frequency. You're no longer swimming against the current of natural law, you're flowing with it. The writing process itself creates what's known as a coherent energy signature. When you physically write, you're encoding your intention into the quantum field through the unique electromagnetic pattern generated by your heart, brain, and nervous system working in harmony. This coherent signature acts like a homing beacon, drawing experiences that match its frequency. Dr. HeartMath Institute has conducted extensive research on heart-brain coherence, discovering that when we align our emotions with our intentions, which happens naturally during repetitive writing practice, we generate a measurable electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond our physical body. This field literally influences the molecular structure of water, the behavior of DNA, and even the random number generators used in quantum mechanics experiments. During the 5-day practice period, something remarkable happens to your energy field. It begins to stabilize at the frequency of your desired reality. People around you start to notice something different about your presence. Opportunities begin to appear. Synchronicities multiply. This isn't magic, it's physics. The key insight that most people miss is that manifestation isn't about forcing or demanding. It's about becoming so aligned with your desired reality that you naturally magnetize the experiences, people, and opportunities that match that frequency. The 5x55 method is a technology for achieving this alignment. Mathematics isn't just a human invention, it's the language of creation itself. And the numbers 5 and 55 hold profound significance in the architecture of manifestation. The number 5 represents the human experience. We have 5 senses, 5 fingers, 5 toes. In sacred geometry, the pentagon and pentagram, 5-sided figures, represent the golden ratio, the divine proportion that governs growth and beauty in nature. When you engage with the number 5 in manifestation work, you're aligning with your full human potential. But 55 is where the real magic happens. In numerology, 55 is considered a master number, a frequency that doesn't reduce to a single digit because it carries such powerful transformative energy. It represents accelerated spiritual evolution, sudden insights, and rapid life changes. The Mayan civilization, renowned for their advanced understanding of time and consciousness, used the number 55 in their most sacred calendrical calculations. They believed that 55 represented the quickening periods when the normal flow of time seemed to accelerate and transformation happened at supernatural speed. Modern mathematics has revealed something extraordinary about the number 55. It's the 10th number in the Fibonacci sequence, that famous mathematical pattern where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones: 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. This sequence appears everywhere in nature: the spiral of galaxies, the arrangement of leaves on a stem, the pattern of seeds in a sunflower. When you write 55 repetitions, you're tapping into this fundamental pattern of natural growth and expansion. Your manifestation literally begins to follow the same mathematical principles that govern the unfolding of flowers, the formation of storms, and the expansion of the universe itself. But there's an even deeper layer. Recent research in cymatics, the study of how sound frequencies create physical patterns, has shown that when you repeat a phrase 55 times with focused intention, you create a unique vibrational signature that matches the frequency patterns found in naturally occurring crystals. Your words literally begin to crystallize into physical form through sound and intention. The 5-day timeframe connects to what ancient Chinese medicine calls the 5-element cycle, the fundamental pattern of transformation that governs all natural processes. Each day of your practice corresponds to one of these elements: wood, growth; fire, expansion; earth, grounding; metal, refinement; and water, flow. By the end of the 5 days, you've moved through a complete cycle of energetic transformation. Dr. Masaru Emoto's groundbreaking research on water consciousness revealed that focused intention could literally change the molecular structure of water. Since the human body is approximately 60% water, and our thoughts carry electromagnetic signatures, the implications are staggering. When you practice the 5x55 method, you're essentially reprogramming the water in your cells to vibrate at the frequency of your desires. This is why people often report feeling physically different after completing the 5x55 method. It's not just psychological, there are measurable changes happening at the cellular level. Between your current reality and your desired reality exists what consciousness researchers call the bridge of becoming. The 5x55 method is specifically designed to help you cross this bridge with grace and speed. Most manifestation techniques fail because they try to leap directly from current reality to desired reality without building the necessary neurological and energetic bridges. The 5x55 method works because it creates a gradual but accelerated transition that your subconscious mind can accept and integrate. Dr. Bruce Lipton's research in epigenetics has shown that our beliefs literally control our biology. When you repeatedly write your manifestation with genuine feeling and conviction, you're sending new information to your genes. Your DNA begins to express itself in alignment with your new reality rather than your old programming. But here's what's truly revolutionary: the 5x55 method doesn't just change your future, it actually reorganizes your past. As you write your desired reality repeatedly, your brain begins to notice all the times in your history when you've already experienced aspects of what you're manifesting. Your reticular activating system starts highlighting evidence that you've always been someone who could have what you desire. This process, called retroactive coherence, is one of the most powerful aspects of the method. You're not just creating a new future, you're discovering that your past has been preparing you for this moment all along. The challenges, the setbacks, the unexpected detours, they all begin to make sense as necessary stepping stones to your manifestation. Ancient wisdom traditions have long understood this principle. The Buddhist concept of dependent origination teaches that all events are interconnected across time. When you change your present consciousness, you literally alter the meaning and impact of past events. The 5x55 method accelerates this process by creating intense focus and repetition. During the writing practice, many people experience what's called temporal displacement, moments where they feel as if they're already living their desired reality. This isn't imagination, it's your consciousness beginning to entangle with the quantum possibility of your manifestation. Time begins to feel fluid. Past, present, and future start to merge into one coherent experience. The physical act of writing by hand is crucial here because it engages what neuroscientists call the embodied mind. Unlike typing, handwriting requires fine motor control that directly connects to the emotional and memory centers of your brain. Each letter you write is encoded with the full spectrum of your conscious and subconscious intention. This is why ancient cultures placed such emphasis on the power of written spells, prayers, and intentions. They understood that the physical act of writing creates a unique neurological state where imagination and reality begin to merge. The 5x55 method harnesses this ancient wisdom through the lens of modern neuroscience. As you progress through the 5 days, you'll notice that your relationship with time begins to shift. Synchronicities don't feel like coincidences anymore, they feel like natural expressions of your aligned consciousness. People and opportunities appear with perfect timing. Resources become available exactly when you need them. This isn't luck or chance. It's the natural result of consciousness operating in harmony with the quantum field of possibilities. You're no longer hoping for your manifestation to arrive, you're living as someone for whom such manifestations are natural and expected. I want to hear about your experience with this. In the comments below, share this. What's the one thing you've been hesitant to manifest because it feels too big or impossible? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Sometimes the courage to dream bigger comes from seeing someone else take that first brave step. But before you begin your 5x55 journey, there's one final secret that makes all the difference between those who experience miraculous results and those who get stuck in old patterns. The moment you finish writing your 55th repetition on the 5th day, your real work begins. This is when most people make the critical mistake that undoes all their progress. They either obsess over when their manifestation will appear, or they forget about it completely and return to old thought patterns. Neither approach works. There's a third way, what advanced practitioners call conscious detachment with embodied knowing. Here's what this means. After completing your 5x55 practice, you maintain an inner knowing that your manifestation is already reality in the quantum field, while simultaneously releasing any attachment to how or when it appears in your physical experience. This isn't passive waiting, it's active alignment. Dr. Deepak Chopra describes this as living in the gap, that space between intention and manifestation where infinite possibilities exist. The 5x55 method prepares you to inhabit this space with confidence and grace. You know your desire is real in consciousness, and you trust the universe's intelligence to deliver it in the most perfect way possible. During the integration period, the days and weeks following your 5x55 practice, your job is to notice and act on the subtle guidance that begins to flow through your life. This might appear as intuitive nudges, unexpected invitations, chance encounters, or sudden insights about actions you need to take. The key is to understand that your manifestation rarely appears as a complete package delivered to your doorstep. Instead, it unfolds as a series of synchronistic events that, when followed, lead you naturally to your desired outcome. Each step might seem small or even unrelated, but they're all part of a larger orchestration happening at levels beyond your conscious awareness. Ancient Taoist philosophy describes this as wu-wei, effortless action that flows in harmony with natural forces. When you've properly programmed your consciousness through the 5x55 method, right action becomes obvious and natural. You're not forcing or struggling, you're dancing with the intelligence of the universe. This is also when your energy field becomes most magnetic. People often report that strangers approach them with offers, opportunities seem to fall from the sky, and resources appear exactly when needed. This isn't coincidence, it's the natural result of consciousness aligned with its creative power. But here's the deeper truth. The real manifestation isn't the external thing you wrote about, it's who you become in the process. The 5x55 method transforms you into someone who naturally attracts and creates the experiences you desire. The external manifestation is simply a reflection of your internal transformation. Many practitioners discover that by the time their original manifestation appears, they've already moved on to even bigger dreams. The method doesn't just give you what you want, it expands your capacity to want and receive greater things. This expansion happens because the practice dissolves the unconscious barriers that were limiting your manifestations. As you write the same powerful statement 55 times a day for 5 days, you're forced to confront and integrate any resistance, doubt, or unworthiness that arises. These aren't obstacles, they're opportunities for deeper healing and alignment. The integration period is also when you begin to understand the difference between wanting something from lack and creating something from wholeness. True manifestation isn't about filling a void in your life, it's about expressing the fullness of who you really are. The 5x55 method teaches you to manifest from overflow rather than scarcity. As this happens, you'll notice that life becomes less about chasing desires and more about responding to the creative impulses that arise from your deepest alignment. You're no longer trying to get something from the universe, you're collaborating with it as a conscious co-creator. Standing at the threshold of transformation, you have a choice that will define not just the next 5 days, but the entire trajectory of your life. The 5x55 method isn't just about manifesting specific desires, it's about awakening to your true nature as a conscious creator in a responsive universe. Everything you've learned here, the neuroscience, the quantum physics, the sacred mathematics, the consciousness principles, they all point to one revolutionary truth: you are far more powerful than you've been taught to believe. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions aren't just private experiences happening inside your head. They're creative forces that actively shape the fabric of reality itself. The ancient mystics knew this. Modern science is confirming it. And now you have a practical method to experience it for yourself. The 5x55 method is your gateway to a reality where manifestation isn't miraculous, it's natural. Where synchronicity isn't lucky, it's inevitable. Where your deepest dreams aren't fantasies, they're previews of your authentic life. But remember, this knowledge without action is just entertainment. The universe responds to commitment, not casual interest. When you pick up that pen and write your first repetition, you're making a declaration that echoes through the quantum field: I am ready to step into my power as a conscious creator. The next 5 days will test everything you think you know about what's possible in your life. Old patterns will try to resurface. Doubt will whisper its familiar stories. Fear will present compelling arguments for staying small. This is normal. This is necessary. This is how transformation happens, not in the absence of resistance, but in the conscious choice to move forward despite it. Your manifestation is already real in the realm of pure possibility. The 5x55 method is simply the bridge that allows it to cross from the quantum field into your lived experience. Every letter you write is a step across that bridge. Every day you continue is a vote for the version of yourself that lives in alignment with unlimited creative power. Some of you will complete this practice and manifest exactly what you wrote about. Others will discover something even better than what they originally desired. And some will realize that the real gift was never the external manifestation at all, but the remembering of who you truly are, an infinite being temporarily expressing through human form, with the power to consciously participate in the creation of reality itself. The choice is yours. The method is here. Your time is now. Step into the frequency of your desired reality. Write your way into a new dimension of possibility. Let the universe show you what becomes possible when consciousness and intention align with the mathematical precision of natural law. Your life is waiting on the other side of these 5 days. All you have to do is pick up the pen and begin. The universe is listening. Your future self is calling. And reality itself is ready to reshape around the power of your focused intention. Welcome to your transformation.